But
I will say, I love the amount of people who are in chat who are just like, LGD needs someone other than Chalice. Like, he has one bad game with bad ping, and all of a sudden everybody thinks this guy shouldn't be a carry ever again. They went 6-2 overall in the group stage, and those two Vici games was the first series they've lost in this event. Like,
guys, they're in
the man some slack.
They were in the upper bracket final playing possibly the best team in China at the moment. And you can't be like, oh, they need a new carry player. Like, people are going to lose series. It happens. Imagine being the manager of a team and every time you lose a series, you kick a player. It'd be awful.
Dude, we lost here. We're Barcelona. I think Messi needs to go to another team. This is the end. Like, just
yeah, they
lost it.
At the end of the game, they draw lots to see which player they're going to sell. And like, oh no, it's Lionel. Oh no, Messi's going.
And to put that into perspective, they've won 8 of their last 10 series. Or that's not correct. Never mind. Scratch that. Yeah. Wikipedia not giving me the right stats here.
But the thing is,
it shows one OGA.
Like,
okay, never mind.
Chalice might not be carries his main role. And he's played off lane for ages. But there's no reason why he can't start playing carry. Like, if they get to the final of this event and they beat every single team except for Vici, and you guys just say they need to replace Chalice, like, come on, guys, let's be real. So they've done well.
Oh my god! I mean, it's just that seems to be the Twitch chat MO. You lose one series, and all of a sudden, all your prior achievements are just thrown out the window.
If a team doesn't win a competition, they're bad. That's the way to go. What are LGD going to first pick here? They go for the Grimstroke. Not a shock. And with Ember still in the pool as well, I think EHOME are going to have to really consider whether they want to let that through with the Grimstroke here, or if they pick it up for themselves. I think Oracle's a really good pick for them here as well. Makes Grimstroke's hero a lot harder because it purges off the ink swell. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, please do Oracle Ember. That would make me
Oracle
so happy.
Death Prophet? Ooh, Oracle Ember. Look at you.
Woo.
All right. And that should be, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I was going to say that should be nothing to say on the Ember, but fool me once, eHome, never again. That conclusion to you on that Ember Spirit. I'm not going to let you guys fool me. Although, I want to say nothing to say is usually the priority on an Ember pick. It's early in the draft.
I want to see Beastmaster, Legion, or Monkey King.
Or Beastmaster and Monkey King. Why not?
That's not Beastmaster, Legion, or Monkey King.
I will say they made it look like that Tiny could work yesterday. Minus the fact that they lost. Minus the fact that Chalice was dealing with 200 ping in that game.
Do you know, I think they made it look better because FY managed to farm the lane for the first 4 minutes while all his cores were moving around.
Yeah.
That's why.
He was level 3 pretty quickly. You're not wrong.
To be fair, I also think this Grimstroke Tiny is an interesting combo because when you play this Tiny 4, you want to blow somebody up right at the start of the fight, right? And get the numbers advantage with your combo. If you Avalanche toss them while you have Inkswell on you, like level 4... That's such a huge amount of damage, like that comes through all at once, right? So it'll be interesting to see whether that's something they try to play for in the mid game when Tiny gets blink. And I also think this Tiny opens up tri-lane potential as well, which is pretty important at the moment. I think we see these Tusk picks as well being pretty strong, which I think is something eHome might consider. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit difficult against the Grimstroke because if you get soulbound up next to somebody, you can't snowball, which absolutely sucks. But it's still a decent hero. I think Oracle Tusk is a really strong support duo as well.
Ooh, and they banned that old 11 Enigma. They also banned the Timber, so it's going to continue to just get banned. We're never going to see it. Grand Finals. That's what I'm waiting for. Grand Finals, and it'll come out. Faith Beyond on this Clockwork did play very, very, very well. I get PTSD with LGD and Clockworks now in the same match.
Chalice is like, no, he stole my hero. I'm not going to get to play at this game.
trying to prove somebody that anything could work in the one position.
I really imagine if they end up playing it on Sylar on EHOME. It starts spreading.
Stop.
So,
Just stop.
I really like this pick though. Like you say, I think Faithbian's been incredible on this hero, and Clockwork has a super high win rate this event because he's basically been winning a lot of the games he's playing on it. And I also think it's really good against Grimstroke and Tiny. Try and pick them off at the start of the fight. They are relatively susceptible. Tiny can toss you away, but if there's nobody nearby, it doesn't really matter. Imagine Tiny trying to break cogs by attacking them. It's not going to work, is it?
I'm very interested at the fact that LGD have now picked this hero in 2 straight series after it had been very quiet for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. We're getting word here. Might have to restart the lobby. Just we'll keep you guys up to date on what's going to happen. That was not on purpose Clockwork pick. I don't know. Nope, tied. Okay. All right. LGD doing some different things. Maybe.
I mean, the thing I will say is that when you have this Tiny, you kind of want this offlane that doesn't need a huge amount of help. And I think the way they might be looking at it at the moment is that they can put the Tide in like the solo safe lane in a 1v1 against the Clock, and then try and do some like aggro try with Grimstroke Tiny +1. But I think this Monkey King pick now makes that really difficult because Monkey absolutely destroys Tide. And now LGD have to be really worried about what they pick here to lane up against the Monkey King. And again, look at the flex value in EHOME. Like, this Oracle plays 5, Clockwork can play 3 or 4, Ember can play 2 or 4, Monkey can play 1 or 2. So they could literally pick anywhere from 1 through to 4 in their last pick overall.
Storm coming in. I want to be very hesitant on these picks right now because we just got word that we had to restart lobby, but I don't know. Nothing's really happened. Nobody's disconnected unless they're going to all pick it.
I assume that, yeah. I assume they're going to all pick it. I don't like this Storm pick, by the way. I think Ember does really well against this hero. They have the Oracle as well to root him. But Monkey King, I think, destroys this hero in the laning stage because you can dodge the Remnant damage with Mischief. And then so you can carry on hitting him while he's trying to, like, farm up in the lane. Like, Storm has high armor, which is really nice against the Monkey King. But I think Monkey King still does amazingly well in that matchup. Especially when it gets to, like, level 3 or so with the 2 points in Jingu. But I do love a good Storm game. So, you know what? I respect that.
And we'll just have to see what they rounded out with. I'm surprised EHOME banned the Lycan. I know they are very favorable on that hero, but at the same time, it could just be mid Ember, safe lane Monkey King. They don't need to be up against something like the Lycan.
I think the good thing about the Lycan pick, though, is it's another melee core that works with Inkswell, but it's also really good against Monkey King as well, because you just run him down. You have the Purge to take off Jingu stacks as well when he gets them. I think you just absolutely melt Monkey King in like, the mid-game. Like, you have the Wukong's command to give you a little bit more armor, but it's not really enough. You kind of just get melted by the doggo. By the way, Soulbind double gush is actually really strong.
A lot of minus armor.
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget that one. I played against that in a game before, and it was crazy.
So let's see what this last pick is for both sides. I wonder if we're restarting the lobby. Maybe they can hear us.
Possibly. They could play mid tide, by the way, on LGD as well, like carry tide. I think that's something that is. It's not awful, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Chalice possibly play it, but I imagine it's most likely going to be Old 11. What do they go for? Yeah. Okay. Not sure how much I like this. I think Oracle's really good against Troll in general. Like, until you get BKB, like the constant disarms coming through from Fate's Edict's really annoying. He has to save to keep people alive during the Troll battle trance. So where, you pop the battle trance, you want to kill somebody off quickly, then move on to the next person with it. That that Oracle ult is going to make it very difficult.
So let's see what this last pick is from EHOME, because we still have a chance to see if the Ember is the 4 or not.
I'm going to go with, I think they play the Ember 4 and they play the Monkey King as the 2, and they're going to pick a carry now for Sylar.
Okay.
I think you want to put the Monkey against the Storm Spirit mid, and I think Nothing to Say seems like the Monkey King player.
And there's the Winter Wyvern.
So they're playing Wyvern 4 then, I guess? And so Sylar's going to play the Monkey, Nothing to Say plays the Ember.
Okay. So I think we're restarting on the lobby. I think that's, because they created a new lobby. But we'll be back with that in a second. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to go to break or if we're just going to slide right into the lobby.
I think we just slide in, right?
I guess. I don't know. Nobody's disconnected yet from either team. That's what worries me.
I think we may need to say something.
Step in.
Message Xnova, the boy.
Yo, Xnova, just want to let you know there's a new lobby. Hope to see you soon. Are you using AMD? Talk to you later.
So Faith runs on his clockwork, which is always very fun. It's a super good Winter Wyvern game, by the way. Something I just want to point out quickly. Like, this troll pick from LGD is really going to struggle up against the Winter Wyvern.
Unless the game is paused. That was a lot of strategy time, or it felt like a lot of strategy time.
Yeah, we know you don't want to see our faces, guys. You want to see the draft, but there was a small technical problem. Don't worry, it happens.
Yeah, I don't know why
you'll still get to see the game. It's fine.
Maybe they're demanding it because.
Yeah, they've started.
Wait. Oh, I accidentally pressed the pause button. It doesn't work anyway. I can't pause it. Oh dear.
You might have to tell the players here.
They will join the new lobby. Uh-oh.
We
Okay. I've never seen this in the history of Dota. Oh my god. Not you specifically, Xnova. Are we going to break? I think we're going to break. Let's go to break. We'll be right back. All right, and we are back as we'll get the game started here. Just a little bit of technical difficulties as some things with the lobby. Maybe some things getting said in all chat. Have no idea. But
Yeah, there's
Old 11 getting tipped. I'm not sure. You know, maybe they're saying something about what happened.
shout out to me for saving the tournament.
Yeah, seriously. Mo just saved the tournament right there. I don't know if you guys had realized what was going on, but we needed a remake, and I'm not sure the communication had gone from English to whatever languages it had to be translated into.
My boy
So-
X-Nova.
30 seconds
Yeah.
to battle.
Saving
Although
the day.
I think he just blocked you on Twitter though. So
Yeah. So, but we're here now, though. We get the game, which is fine. I don't think people saw the draft though, because we were missing our observer in the lobby for the draft before. So they've done an all-pick remake. So let's just go through the heroes quickly. I'll do Radiant. You do Dire. Okay. So Innocent's playing POS 5 Oracle. We have the POS 4 Wyvern for Jin Q. Faith Yuan's playing the POS 3 Clockwork. Nothing to say is playing his lovely Mid-Ember here, who's actually started Ring of Protection against the Storm, which is interesting. Because he's going for this Urn first, and then Sylar on the carry monkey kit.
it was very well read. It feels like school again. I'll take the next page. So on the 5 position, we've got X-Nova playing the Grimstroke. In the 4 position, FY on the Tiny. 3 position, Old 11 on the Tide Hunter. Mid, Storm, Somnus, and then safe lane, or who, well, he's in the off lane right now, but it's the 1 position, Chalice, Troll. Back to you, teacher.
This body blocking bot lane, by the way, I don't know if you saw. Old 11 and X have a body blocking the waves, so that it came under the tower straight away, or at least one creep did. So it feels pretty good. Is Old 11 going to have to walk all the way up to the top lane here for LGD? Oh boy, he's not a happy Tide. But guess what? FY on the Tiny, just like last game, is now the carry player. Ready for the gank mid.
If you recall yesterday, it was the laning shuffle. Laning shuffle, laning shuffle. Here comes the laning shuffle. And Old 11 will go top. And by the time he gets there, FY will at least have level 2. So good for him. Avalanche and Toss will be available, so maybe they could turn that into something, but certainly tough against Faith Beyond. However, I will say, right now he's just got Rocket Flare, and there's the Battery Assault. So Tide joining FY, and with the quick level 3 for FY, maybe we see something. A little bit more movement around the map.
FY says, nice, my support player's finally here. This is great, he can help me in this lane now. I think this bot lane is where all the action is going to be, though. You see X-Nova getting run at a little bit at the moment. Can they get in?
Fall, and good last shot there from Jin Q after the Purifying Flames came in from Innocence. They put that together in tandem. And this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. Jin Q going first item Orchid. Boots first with tangos and a ward right into the Orchid.
Yeah, I see a lot of people go for the medallion first, but I think the Orchid Rush is still pretty good this game, especially against like people like the Storm, right? And the reason it's good is because when you pop Winter's Curse, obviously you can still damage them yourself through it. So if you pop the Orchid on them at the same time, the Orchid duration ends just as the Winter's Curse ends as well, pretty much. They almost like overlap. So they get that extra huge amount of damage come through at the end of the Winter's Curse. And mid lane, FY with that level 2, he just blows them up.
Which now we're seeing Sylar start to take a position over towards top, but Chalice makes the rotation. He TP's top. Tide goes bottom. The laning shuffle continues. Insert laning shuffle song now. And we'll see how long Sylar stays in this lane.
You get nothing.
Yeah, they really wanted to get the Monkey King against the Tide Hunter, if possible. Which is why Tide Hunter walked all the way top lane before, because he wants to lane up against the Clock instead. You know, if this Monkey King gets to lane up against the Tide Hunter, then he's super happy, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and he's going to start running down towards the bot lane with this lovely courier form. And I don't know if you noticed what he did. The reason he took a while for him to do that is because he sent his courier out to himself, so that when he used Mischief, he would turn into a courier to be faster, to run towards the bot lane.
Oh. X-Nova will be
X-Nova,
here.
I think you attack him here,
We'll
right?
spot it.
You break the courier form, and then he's slower. Okay, not
go.
sure. Never mind.
Tide's got his TP in 14 seconds, so couldn't he just go top?
Yeah, but Monkey King
He'll
has
get
TP
followed
as
by
well.
Monkey King, yeah.
Yeah. Monkey King and Clockwork both have TP as well. So this is really good for EHOME now. They get the matchup they want.
So now Old 11 has to walk all the way up top again.
I don't think this is bad for Old 11 though. Yeah, I think he can just creep skip now because he's level 4. I think, like Jinky's going to come over with the Arctic Burn, which makes it a bit more annoying. But yeah, if he just stacks up waves, like there's no real kill potential. He's actually got Necrobook queued up, by the way, on Old 11 as well. He's forgotten he's playing Tidehunter instead of Enigma.
Oh, and we haven't really seen much Tide this tournament, but another offlaner going into the Necro 1 for the farming capabilities.
For sure. Oh my god, I didn't expect that at all. I was just watching Old 11 creep skip. I don't know if the Observer caught it or not, but yeah, I mean, Innocence gets the kill up on X Nova in the top lane, and that's the power of Faith Beyond though on this Clockwork, right?
Ooh, but Faith Beyond, he might... he's just fast enough.
How has Sylar managed to let his courier die there? I feel like that shouldn't happen. Like, Old 11's just sitting in the lane. Oh, I'm just TPs away as well. What a baller.
TP2. He TP'd back to base.
Yeah.
Back bottom.
I think that's fine though. Yeah, he'll go bot. Like FY's the bot lane as well. I think he's waiting to see if Jinku comes here, and he's going to try and pull the wave as well. Yeah.
FY could just.
FY's in trouble here.
He's just dead, I think. Avalanche comes in. Eventually, the balance strike is there, and Jinku takes the last hit. Not certain he needed that. Sylar was right up on him, and we know Monkey King's attack range is pretty disgusting.
Oh, I think it was fine. As long as they get the kill, it doesn't really matter, right? Okay, it's okay. Decent laning stage, though, for LGD so far. I mean, X Nova's died a couple of times where he possibly didn't need to, but I mean, he's level 3 now on the Grimstroke, so he's not doing too badly. Like, everybody getting some levels here, at least. Top lane.
They're gonna go here as Faith Beyond on the run, but the Inkswell pops. X Nova will get the kill onto the Clockwork. Chalice, a couple of rotations from lane to lane to lane, and well, he's got himself level 5. He's 33 and 5. This is going really well for OGD. All things considered, all the moves coming in. Somnus also has a couple of stacks to take himself, as he's now level 6. He's got this bottle, he'll pop the regen. Now he's very fine inside the jungle.
Oh no, they popped the regen though because they have a ward on the high ground.
Never
Innocence, what a player. That would have been so nice for Storm to just have that regen going the whole time, by the way, because he'd have farmed the jungle so quickly.
Rude dude, Innocence. Giving you what you need best. Meanwhile, Inkswell again, and this is looking like a dead
Storm's
Faith
keeping bot
Beyond.
lane.
They're really
Storm's
getting on
keeping
top
bot
of him.
lane.
His bottom. They've got Ball Lightning with the Ravage committed, and Sylar drops. Woo! I don't know what it is about Ravage, but always makes the pop.
It's just one of the best visuals in Dota, I think. It's so iconic as well, right? Like, I do love that ability. But yeah, I mean, really good start for LGD so far. I love that timing as well, though, from LGD. As soon as Old 11 hits level 6, maybe gets like is in the jungle just farming, and Old 11 says, "Look, like, dude, I've got Ravage. We can kill this guy if you come." Really crisp play so far by the LGD side. And this Shinky Wyvern doesn't really seem to be achieving anything at the moment, which I think I would be a little bit worried about. He's getting this double stack off, which is nice.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's nice to get a couple of stacks there for your team, as we saw the Storm was able to get it, and as I'm talking about the Storm, we see as he goes after Innocence and gets a kill. So this is already a 2-0-1 Storm Spirit who is level 8, getting a Kaya. He is zooming on the top of the net worth. He's up almost 1,000 on the Ember. Picks up a Keen Optic, which is great for FY, and he'll also hold on to the Broom Handle, so that gives him that extra damage and armor.
I mean, the Keen Optic would have been really good on Storm, but I love that he gave it to his Tiny. I mean, FY is going to have to be ferrying out so many clarities if he doesn't have this item, and he might still need to, but you're making FY's game so much easier, and you know, probably making that blink dagger come out at a quicker time than it possibly would have anyway.
Top tower is
Before.
under attack.
Boom! There it goes.
Nobody up in top lane at the moment from LGD. But Clockwork can't really pressure the tower, so it doesn't really matter too much for them.
Chow's taking a couple of stacks here himself as he's going into the early diffusal blade, and 5-3, just 9 minutes in. It's a 2,000 net worth advantage for LGD. And I believe that they're probably going to work with this Ravage eventually. You know, right when it's off cooldown. I wouldn't be surprised if they go right back to it, get on top of someone, Ravage, Ball Lightning, Electric Vortex, try to get a kill that way.
Somnus wants to make a move here. He has this Invasoon, and bot lane...
If they could kill off Old 11, that would be nice, but they've already lost Innocence. He's got Ravage in just a couple of seconds if he can stay alive, and now he pops it. That's huge. He may have died, but they already got 2. They look over at Nothing to Say. The Splinter Blast comes in, but there's the toss. He'll get the 3-point shot on Nothing to Say, and that's 3 gone. They'll look for Jingqiu Ball Lightning forward. Out of mana, though, is Somnus. It doesn't matter. He's got the slow, and eventually he'll get the kill. It's a triple for Somnus, and LGD blow EHOME out of the water with that fight.
And Somnus went on Innocence at the start of the fight. He was trying to take the bottom outpost. So now they get both the outposts. They're going to secure probably 3 out of 4 runes, possibly 4, but Chalice is pretty low. And this game is going so unbelievably well for LGD so far. I mean, Somnus on this Storm Spirit, by the way, just is absolutely destroying. I haven't seen a Storm performance this good in a long time, but he might be in trouble here.
Avalanche, Toss, and the Inkswell. They've got the Silence. There's not really a place for this Monkey King to run. However, Stroke of Fate Mischief over to the side. It was very close from LGD.
Yeah, bot lane as well. Yeah, Nothing to Say came in and tried to go on Somnus there on the Storm Spirit, but lacking the damage, unfortunately.
I can't believe he's just about got that Kaya already. Look at how far ahead he is.
He's so farmed, honestly.
Wow. This could be a quick one, and one of the things we were worried about, I would say, is, you know, we've seen EHOME yesterday, played a really good series, and that was probably EHOME at their best. But we've seen EHOME towards their worst at times in this tournament. I mean, that 2-0 that they lost to RNG with was definitely one of those moments, and I'm worried if we see that potentially here again. As Faith Beyond over top, Somnus gets yet another kill, and that'll finish off the Kaya. Now he's going into the Bloodstone.
And he's 6-0-2 at like 11.5 minutes into the game on this Storm. That's unbelievable. I also want to point out that LGD, I think it was X-Nova, by the way, was making so many stacks for this Storm Spirit. So, shout out to him. You know, this spree doesn't happen unless the support stack the camps.
For sure.
And FY is only 700 gold off his blink or so. And if you look at the Radiant side, they are very susceptible to getting blown up. Like Oracle is still level 5 at 12 minutes into the game. Wyvern could just die as well. I also think this Monkey King of the Ember have to be super careful if there's a +1 with the Tiny.
Thank you.
So Ravage is up once again, and they've been using it just about every time it has come off cooldown, where, well, the first time when he got it at 6, it was immediately used.
Tower is under attack.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they want to set up something once again.
Yeah, I think FY's going to start heading down bot here. I think they want to push this tower. And he wants to play with his Tide as well, right? Because, like you say, he is the strong hero on the map at the moment.
Vortex again. Got the Silence onto the Oracle, and they just need one more shot. They'll get the kill. But now Primal Spring, I don't know if you kill Somnus. This is not exactly the spot you want to be in. Trying to get the Jingu to pop. There's the Soulbind, and maybe Somnus getting a little too ahead of himself because he gives up a 7 times spree. Wow. 7 already. 13 minutes into the game, that is a 7 times spree going to the Monkey King.
Yeah, not ideal from the Storm. So he unfortunately ran out of mana by making sure to kill off Innocence there on the Oracle, but that was because he popped the stick, or Ravage bot lane as well. They're trying to chase after Old 11 here.
He uses that Ravage, but they've got 4 heroes to go. Battery Assault, Cogs around him, and Old 11, that is a Ravage now that doesn't lead to anything, which means it's on cooldown for another 2 minutes or so. And that is not what you want to see. But the entire
Radiant's
time,
middle tower is under attack.
Chalice is just farming.
Yeah, I was just about to point out the same thing.
He's
He
got
has this
Diffusal.
Yeah, like with this diffuser coming out in the courier, I really think I'm wondering whether he goes for this BKB or if he goes for like the status resistance build instead. I'd be interested to see which one he decides to commit for. I think when you're playing against Wyvern though, the diffusal's really key because when you pop your battle chance and try to go on somebody, it's important that even if you can't like kill them off because of the heal with the cold embrace, that you do just burn their mana to 0 during the battle trance. How close is FY to blink? About 300 gold off. Okay, it's almost there.
Would it make Cold Embrace too good if it blocked mana reduction?
Yes.
Radiant's middle
Oh god,
tower
please don't
Like,
make it.
not
do that.
even by 100%. I'm saying like maybe a percentage.
No, I think Wyvern's in a fine place at the moment, to be honest. I think that hero's okay. He's almost close to his second Oblivion staff, by the way, so getting closer to that Orchid. I think when that comes online, they can make plays against the Storm Spirit, remember, because... Oh, hang on.
Shot. Going in, Wukong's command is out. Somnus walks outside the circle, or so I thought
God, the
he would
battle
walk outside the
trance.
circle. Stays in there for a while. The battle trance comes in with a false promise. Chalice taking a lot of damage. He'll survive here now, but ends up dead. X-Nova falls. 2 heroes gone on the side of LGD. False promise pops, and Faith Beyond will do the same. FY, though, he is surrounded by 4 heroes and trying to run. Won't be able to do so, so it's a 3-for-1 in the favor of EHOME.
So, this is why I was unsure about the Troll pick, because I don't know if you realise, when he pops Battle Trance on the Troll, and the person he's attacking gets False Promise, because he's not actually technically doing damage at that time, he doesn't get the healing off from Battle Trance, because it's not registering that the damage is happening right then and there. So you see, he was just losing losing HP, sorry, the whole time during Battle Trance. Which is, yeah, really difficult. It's like when you hit Refraction, you don't get lifesteal off that either, because you're not technically doing damage. You're just taking off charges of Refraction. It's the same for Resonant. When Void Spirit uses Resonant Pulse, and you attack him while he has the physical damage block coming through, you don't lifesteal off that either.
Hookshot comes in once again, and that leads to a kill here on Somnus. He goes 7-0 to start the game, but now back-to-back deaths for him. And all of a sudden, EHOME are coming alive in this game to a point where LGD, do they have to turn down the pressure?
It's difficult though, because EHOME are going to just want to be running at them constantly, right? Like I think LGD, they kind of want their key items before they fight here, right? Like they want the Bloodstone. I say that. Never mind.
Get the kill on Innocence. They look for Faith Beyond. The battle
He has a
trance
haste
pulling
rune.
further and further in. With that haste rune, he won't ever catch up.
Oh, that's hook shot in 20 seconds. Never mind. I was wondering if he might try and turn now with APM.
And here's the thing. Now, Ember leads the net worth. He was down 1,500 behind the Storm, and he's caught up.
Yeah, nothing to say is actually pretty farmed now. He hasn't gone Vessel first, by the way. He just stayed on the end. Mid lane. LGD going for this mid tier 1 here.
Avalanche
behind the
toss. Jinkyu has that Orchid, and he silences up the Grimstroke. Jinkyu now stays alive. They're looking for the Wukongs as they've got the ball lightning. Even within the Cold Embrace, they won't be able to keep this Winter Wyvern alive. And now the turn
Nice
with the
Ravage.
Ravage hitting onto 3 of these heroes. False Promise keeps him up. Mischief, he is a tree. Gets to stay being a tree as the Wukongs comes in. And eventually Chalice will not die as the Wukongs is taken
That
out.
doesn't matter,
Then
though.
falls to the site. Innocence dies too. And 4 heroes dead on the side of EHOME for the one of the Troll.
Yeah, that was really funny. He was in a tree in Mischief, and he was because he was false promised and wasn't taking damage. He stayed as a tree during the whole duration of the Wukongs charging up. Because there was nothing. If there's nothing hitting him, he's gonna stay as the tree.
Tree Kong's command.
True,
Action right
true.
there. What's Old 11 going for? He's got the hood. He's got that Necro 1 going into a Blink Dagger. Okay.
Old 11 is getting chased down, but I mean this is a Tide
There's a
Hunter.
hook shot, but Jinkyu's in the way.
I don't know, man. It's a Tide Hunter. I don't think he's the guy they want to be going on. I think this game looks really good for EHOME until the BKBs come out for LGD. Like I was considering whether Somnus after those deaths would think about possibly going for a BKB after his Kaya before going back for the Bloodstone, but he's going to stick with the Bloodstone still. I mean, it's a really good item on that hero. And I cannot believe he hasn't taken the Essence Ring on Storm Spirit. Is he giving it to the Tide or something? I don't know who's taking it. And I think are they going to smoke up here? FY
Nobody's
uses...
holding the Essence Ring right now.
Interesting. Oh, he has the clumsy net on Storm, which is pretty good as well, actually, to be fair.
Players here.
Especially against the Ember.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Gives that
Dire's
mana regen,
structures
that
are
stats to all
fortified.
attributes. Finishes off that Bloodstone. Now let's see if it's the BKB next. He's actually queued up Orchid.
Yeah, I think Orchid is fine, though. I think the reason they've picked this Storm Spirit, by the way, in the draft, I forgot to mention it before, is this Oracle, they need to be able to focus him first in a fight, right? So this Storm is like the perfect hero, allowing them to jump the backline. You tend to see this Storm Spirit picked up against these really defensive heroes like... Oh, hang on, Wukong's goes down.
They've got the Boundless down, and Tide has Ravage in 2 seconds. Doesn't have the mana now, finally does with the wand getting popped. X-Nova dies, nothing to say gets the kill. Faithion being focused by Chalice, can't get the hook shot out. Now the Bloodstone activated with the Primal Spring down to the low ground. Faithion still alive, and Jin-Q finally drops. They have the Ravage, there's the Blink! And that's the Blink reveal, I believe. They look to go on to these heroes on the side of EHOME, but they're holding their own with the False
Chalice,
Promise
though.
used onto the Monkey King, but Chalice is just ripping through him. And will eventually pop as the False Promise comes to an end. No! He survives that all! Sylar finally dies afterwards, but the fact that he survived that at all is ridiculous. They also find nothing to say. They'll focus their attention now onto the Oracle. Ball lightning all the way in from Somnus. Inkswell pops, and Chalice gets the kill onto the Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, EHOME look really good in these fights when they don't have Ravage up. But whenever Ravage is off cooldown, it's so difficult for them to take their fights into it until they get their BKBs up on the Monkey King and the Ember. I would really like to see Ember go for BKB at least before he goes for this Axe. But then the problem is, like, if they both get BKB, where's their damage coming from? So he might feel pressured into building that Axe first. But, I mean, Chalice is 800 gold off his BKB now. I mean, Somnus is, with that Bloodstone pickup, now has an extra 2 charges, and he's 1,000 gold into his BKB. Yeah, and Old 11 did take the Essence Ring. Thank God.
I would love to see something like Tide Axe, but not sure it's necessary.
You don't think he'll go for it this game?
No. I just, a man can dream. I actually think it's such a good axe.
He should go Daedalus, though. That's the play. He has Imp Claw,
Radiant's
right?
bottom
So,
tower
on
is
his
under
team.
attack.
Take the Imp Claw,
Gush
buy a
too.
Daedalus.
Double damage bottled up. They're also smoked, trying to get up onto these heroes. Rocket Flare comes in. They've got the hook shot, but it misses X-Nova. An uncharacteristic miss coming in from Faithion.
Like yesterday, it's ping issues. Don't worry.
Dire's middle tower
We're fine.
has fallen.
The thing is, like, LGD, they had gotten themselves a 6,000 net worth lead, and then it was back to even, and now they're back there. And they've definitely stabilized, but
Yeah, I mean,
it goes okay. No, he finishes the BKB.
the problem for EHOME is their 3 and 4 is so much, like, so underfarmed in comparison to LGD's. Like, this Storm Spirit's going to be a massive problem for them when he gets BKB as well. I don't understand how they're going to be able to deal with him. As they have to, like, chain stun him down before he gets his BKB off, and I just don't see how that's going to happen. It feels very much like yesterday when Vici picked up their BKBs in the game before. Like, this 3-4-5 from EHOME just don't do a huge amount of damage, which is why I think Jin-Q going Orchid is so important. So they actually have a chance of bringing people down.
Have Blink Ravage available. Oh! You had to see it coming. Just remnants away. Ravage down.
Radiant's top tower is
Unfortunate.
under attack.
It happens, though.
I guess.
He's going Octarine, by the way. Big fan.
Well, if you're going to miss Ravages like that, you're going to need it up more often to hit.
I would have actually liked to have seen him build a Hex, but I think they just need a little bit more lockdown for the Ember, to be honest. Abyssal Tide? That sounds sick. They're going to smoke up here, but it was under a LGD ward, unfortunately. So, EHOME, they're probably going to be running into a high ground here where LGD are just going to be sitting and waiting.
They don't have Ravage. Hook shot on the Grimstroke. Now the Cogs, Boundless Strike. X-Nova dead.
I'm surprised anybody's died there, to be honest. I mean, if X-Nova dies, it's not the end of the world, right? But I feel like because they saw the smoke, they should have probably known that was going to be coming.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Way over.
They rocket flared the storm in the trees, and there was a curse available on Jin-Q if he'd have just managed to get there in time. Look at this warding, though, by LGD. Look at this one in the top Radiant jungle. Like, they have a sentry down, and it just misses it. Oh, they get it now. But yeah, this one in the bot lane, in the bot jungle, spotting the smoke as well. Also really good going.
Interesting ward spot. I mean, they did get it, but still.
Yeah, not easy to find. It's a little bit out the way.
Sour just farming up towards top, but you could see how far behind he is compared to the Troll or the Storm.
Yeah, but the thing is, there's no pressure on LGD to make plays happen at the moment, right? They just want to get their BKBs and then go. So Troll has his, but they're waiting for maybes, I think, on the Storm before they fully commit. I mean, they're only about like 600 gold away, 500 gold, whatever. So they'll be happy with how this game's going.
Ooh. Balance Strike comes in. He does have Ravage. He'll blink away. FY is actually the one who blinks in. They got the root on the old 11. They'll get the kill on the FY.
Oh, good hook shot.
But a hook shot follows it up. So now old 11, they're thinking that this Ravage is going to come. So they kind of split up. Silence out. Phantom's Embrace. BKB. Down goes X-Nova. Sight used. But Inkswell, nothing they could really do with it. Nothing to say, we'll then use those remnants to back out of the fight after grabbing 2 kills.
I think you just go into the pit now if you're LGD, to be honest. They used the 2 10-second BKBs on their cores and got the 2 supports in return. Like, it's not enough. So you either go into pit for LGD or you just go and you make something happen. And you just try and fight them. Because without their BKBs on the cores, they don't really deal with, like, the Ravage, for example, as well. Yeah, and they're pinging the Roche pit out. I think they know. There's no way that EHOME try and fight them in the pit, right? I'm sure. Until those BKBs are back off cooldown in 20 seconds or so, I guess, for the Ember now, actually. Maybe they feel like they didn't have enough time.
They have a smoke on the Grimstroke, so they will use it. All 5 heroes smoke, and is it in Roche or looking for a fight? So far, not going into Roche. They'll go up to the high ground and look over in the secret shop area. And Old 11 is leading the charge, hoping to get the Blink Ravage off.
Yeah, I think X-Nova really wants to get a Soulbind as well off, which is like super important against these 2 mobile cores in the Monkey King and the Ember. If you can never get a good Soulbind off that harms their movement, abilities in the fights, especially Ember with the Remnants, then they can die really easily. Hook shot mid.
And they've got the Troll to force to use his BKB. So does the Monkey King. Old 11 showing up, and he's just waiting. He's got
the bash.
Invis rune. He is just staying, waiting, and then moving in with the Ravage. They'll get the kill on Innocence. No more false promise. They look at the Monkey King inside the Wukong's command. Goes to the Mischief. No way Sylar survives. He just gets killed, and Jin-Q Sylar fall. Chalice ends up dead. So does X-Nova. Nothing to say, able to remnant away.
That was sick from Sylar. He used the Mischief during the battle trance, so Troll lost the aggro. And so he instantly started swapping over to the Ember which kind of causes Chalice's death in the Chalice's death on the troll in the end, because Monkey was able to get a little bit more damage off from the Wukongs. But really good ravage there by Old 11, just jumping in, and I think it was catching 4, including those 2 supports who ended up just dying straight away to the Storm Spirit. And yeah, and with Somnus's BKB now, he is a big boy. And like, nothing to say he's really mobile on this Ember, but he's not doing a huge amount of damage in fights. So if even though he's top of net worth, I feel like we're not really seeing his effect at the moment. He needs like a damage item like this axe or something.
Interesting change, but it's gone to the Vlads. Will cause him to get this Octarine Core a little bit later.
Yeah, I think Vlad's is fine though. Like, you've got Troll on your team as well, right? So it's okay. Yeah. Ember gets the Enchanted Quiver, which is pretty nice for him. A little bit of extra burst damage coming through from the first slight hit.
Bounty.
So Somnus going into the Orchid now that he's finished off this BKB.
FY has a 4-staff now as well on this Tiny. He's really farmed, actually. He has Blink 40 alls. So all of a sudden...
Got more gold than Faith Beyond.
Yeah, like, he's not going to be caught by this clockwork anymore. Like, he can just either toss him out or force out whatever's going. And I love that LGD just going to the pit. I don't think they should be scared here, to be honest. Like, they have Ravage up in 20, so maybe it's a little bit early. But, I mean, Chalice goes through this so quickly, especially with the Orb of Destruction. Can EHOME get here in time, though? Yeah, I honestly think they have to wait for Ravage here. I just assumed it was off cooldown when they went into the pit, but... You need to make sure you have everything up that you possibly have.
So they smoke, and they might even just look to fight, not go into the Roche pit. It's drawn them forward. All they need is the vision. They do have a ward on the high ground, expecting them to maybe show up and try to defend in that area.
I think they pinged out that they pinged out that the rocket flare went on the high ground, so that they could just go Roche without EHOME knowing. But now they just have flare up again.
Oh, Primal Spring down with the BKB being used here by Sylar. Soulbind comes in. It won't latch on to anybody, but they'll get the kill on FY after this Yules is done. And Avalanche threw on a nothing to say. The BKB has been used by Sylar and is now on cooldown for another 60 seconds. They didn't use that Ravage. So it's hard to still get into the pit without Wukongs, without Hookshot.
Yeah, you just go into the pit. Like, they have Curse still on EHOME's side, but it's not going to be up in time. And Somnus picks up the Aegis, so he's going to go absolutely crazy in these fights now. He's going to play super aggressive.
Look at what Old 11 is doing, just running at these heroes with the threat of Ravage. He's pushing them back with just that threat. He hasn't popped it yet. He's been very patient, but Somnus now loses his Aegis, and this is probably not the spot you wanted to be in that area. And now they've used the Battle Trance, gets the bash onto the Ember, and False Promise will be forced out with those bashes coming through. Winter's Curse now onto this Storm Spirit, as after the False Promise is over, the Ember will in fact pop this time. Now they go back and further in to get the kill on Innocence. They have the comes in at the body blocks come through, and they still are holding the Ravage. Innocence with the Cold Embrace is staying alive for now, but it feels like it's only extending the inevitable, and that is what it is doing. The Ravage ends up being a whiff. After all that time, it whiffs. And X-Nova dies to Sylar. What?
LGD diving a little bit too far, and I don't think Old 11 realized Sylar was going to have BKB up again, because he used it, if you remember, really early in the fight before they'd even taken Roche, and so the BKB was just back up again for him. It is down to 6 seconds now for Sylar, which I think is a bit of a worry for him, but yeah, I mean, 100% worth it there. I mean, decent fight for LGD overall. Like, they still get a decent gold advantage out of it. And I think killing nothing to say on that Ember was really key.
Regeneration.
I just don't... You held the Ravage for so long.
But there was never a time to use it before that, though, was the problem.
Not entirely. He was forcing them back, like running at them like, I could Ravage, and then you'd be 1 or 2 heroes. That's more than he hit overall with the Ravage that he used.
He is going to have Orchid, though, soon on Somnus, which is going to absolutely destroy this Wyvern and the Oracle in the backline. Like, they have to be super careful. He has Ghost Scepter on Oracle, which is going to keep him alive a little bit longer. But yeah, I think he's going to be taking a huge amount of damage from this Storm Spirit especially. I love that Jinkyu's gone Shadow Blade as well. Like he knows that when he's up against all these initiation heroes like Tiny and Storm Spirit and things, they're going to want to jump him every single fight. Like I think he has to die before the Oracle, to be honest. I think the Wyvern's so important because it makes Troll's game really difficult as well. So if he's like hidden in the backlines with the Shadow Blade, he's basically impossible to see.
And it's off.
Storm. That was brave. He took the Arcane Rune. I don't know if you saw. Wyvern spotted it out, and Ember was about to come and pick it up. Someone zips in. He's like, "Thank you very much. I'll take the Arcane Rune."
So FY now has that Ghost Scepter. They have another smoke coming in? No. Not at the moment.
I assume FY goes E-Blade, by the way, for whoever gets cursed by the Wyvern, would be my assumption.
Are scanning.
Feels like it'd be pretty good. Like we talked about it with the Keeper of the Light against the Chrono yesterday.
Lightning all the way through, and now Somnus? BKB gets popped. He needs to try and survive here, but there's the Winter's
he's in
Curse.
trouble.
Ravage comes in. That one actually hits. Soulbind with it, but the Wukong's command comes through, and Somnus ends up dead. That was a very ambitious play without your team, and now you'll lose Old 11. So
He's going to find X-Nova.
I understand making that jump, and now X-Nova, he'll also fall. That was a very ambitious jump, especially because your team wasn't immediately there, and a Monkey just starts that off with a balanced strike that stuns him up, and then from there he is in so much trouble.
That only works if you pop BKB straight away, I think, and even then, like the two supports are both there, so whoever you go on, like Innocence would save Jinky or Jinky would save Innocence, right? Like if you see both of them under this ward, you should know that's not going to work. So maybe he only saw one. Like, you know, we can't tell for sure, but like you say, Somnus' team was nowhere near him. You know, they don't have the potential to zip halfway across the map, unfortunately, like he does. And I think they're going to go for like at least high ground poking here on EHOME.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
And they know there's no Ravage for another minute. There's no Tide for 15. All of a sudden, EHOME are taking the high ground. So, Fizz Beyond, toss back, balance strike. Look at the damage on X-Nova immediately. Winter's Curse comes through, and that'll hold Chalice in place. He does have the Battle Trance, so he'll start to do some damage, but he gets disarmed thanks to the Oracle. Toss back, BKB, Popeye Sour, Bash is coming through. Back to full health. They'll get the
Sylar in a bit of trouble here.
Ball Lightning all the way in. They'll lose Sylar. Faith Beyond, and he's next. Searing Chains locks up this Storm Spirit. But the BKB gets popped, and he won't be able to catch nothing to say.
Well, the fact Jinky and Innocence get out there is big, though, as well. Both the supports. They both really want these blinks at the moment. I think it's super key for them, because if they get blinks, then it means that the Storm... They can stand, like, so far back away from this Storm Spirit that he should never find them, theoretically. Because they don't have to be anywhere near their team, like, to start the fight. But Sylar dying here without buyback is a bit of a worry. LGD should be able to take at least like mid-tier 2 or something here, possibly. And he is working his way towards that Abyssalon Chalice as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I will say, for all the farm that Old 11 has,
Radiant structures are fortified.
it feels still at times like he's just a Ravage.
Yeah, I'm not sure I 100% agree with his item build, though. Like, he does have 4.5k to spare. It's like effectively a third of his net worth almost is in unused gold. Jinkyu is here with Shadowblade, by the way. He was wondering whether they had enough damage to go on the troll there, but without Sylar being up as well, I think it's a little bit difficult. Ooh, Prince's Knife. I wonder who they give that to. Is that a Storm item, possibly? I think... Yeah, it is. Like, because if you jump somebody on the Storm, the fact you can just zip in and then hex them straight away, I think is a massive advantage. And yeah, Leveler for... I assume they give that to the Troll, potentially, but...
Yeah, he got rid of the Orb of Destruction.
I do think somebody should take this Illusionist cape, though. And I don't think X-Nova can hold this Witless Shaco, by the way. I think he needs the mana pool too much. Like, all his spells together cost 410... 610 mana, and he has 683 max. Like, it's not going to work. It does make him tanky, so he can definitely get his spells off, but even so...
Dire's bottom tower
Meanwhile,
is
Old
under
11,
attack.
he has got the Refresher Orb. So if he can hold out post BKB and actually land one of the 2 Ravages...
He doesn't have the mana, though, to cast all 3. Like,
Dire's
2
bottom
Ravages
tower
cost
has
650 mana. Refresher costs
Radiant's top
375.
tower is under attack.
If you do the maths, that's 1,025 mana, guys. You look at his mana pool, he has
Radiant's
807
top tower
max.
has fallen.
Which he's probably going to have to go Shivas next, so he can manage that. But
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
yeah, it's
Radiant's top tower is under
if he
attack.
takes the Witless Shaco, that would make it a lot more funny as well.
Your math is hurting my NA brain.
I don't know if you saw Weeha played a game in the I can't remember what event it was. I think it was WePlay that he took the Witless Shaco on Ursa and he had 199 mana to play with. It was very funny. In an elimination game as well. That's what made it even better.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I assume they won.
They did. Hook
Shot. And Old 11. Again, he's got the Refresher. He's got the... Technically just 1 Ravage. Unless he gets the Arcane Boots post, but...
I'm surprised he didn't fake pump the Ravage there to try and bait out BKBs. I feel like...
Actually... Oh, nobody's got Arcane Boots. How is he going to get the mana back?
I have no idea. He's got Wand, so like...
Alright, he's got 20 charges, so it's possible this time, but next time...
But it also means that he can't use this, like all his other spells in a fight, right? He does have good mana regen. He's sitting at 22. But even so, this Monkey King Illusion with Diffuser Blades just ripping through him at the moment.
Well... The Ravage is 2.8 seconds. 2.8 seconds of mana regen. It's just about 66 mana.
It's about 60.
So...
Yeah.
About 60.
Radiant are
So is that
scanning.
60 mana enough? Plus the wand charge. I mean, with the wand charges, I think it's irrelevant, but... Come the second
Yeah,
time.
he is going to go Shivas, though. I think that's really important here. He might even just sell the Necro 1, I think.
Sell the Necro 1. That is 3 of his mana regen. sir.
Blasphemy, I know.
Can't be getting rid of that. Roche is up. Aegis Cheese.
Oh, Shinkyu. They have a gem on Storm.
Found him. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, they got him. And they will get the kill with X-Nova's Stroke of Fate.
X-Nova just comes in at the last second. That's a DY special, that one.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Usually served by a Purifying Flame.
FY has the Hex queued up, by the way, which I think is okay, but I still think this E-Blade is pretty good as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So let's see. They go in a Roche. Everything available except the Winter's Curse, because there's no Winter Wyvern alive for the side of EHOME. Can they even
I
fight
mean,
in the
LGD...
pit? They could try and steal it, but look at this. This is great positioning from Old 11 as well as FY. They're trying to stay in front of the hook shot. Abyssal comes in, and here are the bashes. The Abyssal now from Sylar to Chalice. Chalice with the BKB turns his attention
Faith
over
Beyond.
Faith Beyond, 2-man hookshot as well.
They're going to get the Roche, though.
Roche is low. They've got Ravage. That comes through. There's the Refresher. Doesn't have the mana for another Ravage. And they won't be able to get it off. Nothing to say gets the Aegis. And now things are going poorly for LGD. Can they finally get the Ravage off? He does have the mana for it. There's the second Ravage. But Old 11 with the battery assault rolling, he ends up just dead. Sylar dies as well. Lincoln's popped on this Ember. Abyssal Blade, can he get anything back from it? No, he can't. Just in time is the hook shot from Faith Beyond. And they'll get the kill onto Chalice. He now is gone for 95 seconds. No buyback Avalanche toss for the first life. And
EHOME.
Ball Lightning all the way in. Looks over at the Oracle. Gets the kill on Innocence. He doesn't have buyback, but here comes Faith Beyond as well as Nothing to Say. Winter's Curse comes through, and down goes the Storm. He's gone for 100 seconds. FY might have been your opportunity to leave as that Storm was coming back in. However, he got locked down thanks to the Winter's Curse, and it's a full team wipe for EHOME.
I cannot believe they have this refresher on Tide that he does not have mana for. I mean, that's such a dead amount of net worth that you have on your team. Like, he has this refresher, but he can't get the second Ravage off straight away. Oh, dear. And maybe might have to buy back here as well on the Storm, which would really hurt his item progression. Oh, they have the repair kit. Okay. They're fine, guys.
Repair kit with the glyph. Is it enough? It is just enough. However, X-Nova, Inkswell, not gonna pop and hit him. They get the kill on the tier 3. Nothing to say with the Agsy back. So he's also got Spell Prism, which is kind of disgusting. Old 11 moving forward. He has Ravage in 25 seconds. There's the toss right on top of the Tide Hunter. So the Battery Assault's now ringing on him. The Inkswell, the Winter's Curse, locks up Old 11. And there's nowhere for him to go. All of a sudden, EHOME, they have a net worth lead.
I love that in the Winter's Curse he has his own Necro units burning his own mana. That's, yeah, we talked about him having mana issues. Never mind his own team going against him. Come on, guys. I love Sylar's item build this game, by the way, on the Monkey King. I think this diffuser blade is so solid here. Because the thing is, they have the Winter's Curse as well, right? So even if, like, he has this Wukong's command down on top of the Winter's Curse, they're going to be losing their mana. And we've talked about how these heroes, like Tide Hunter, even Troll as well, if they don't have their mana pool, they're so, like, ineffective in comparison to how they could be.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Winter Wyvern, Bloodthorn.
Oh my god. Look how quickly FY's fallen off in comparison to Faith Piano and Jinq though, because of how these last like 5 or so fights have gone. I will say though, considering how many fights EHOME have won, they haven't really taken anything for it. And it comes back to this concept that how many fights do you need to win a game? Because it feels like EHOME need quite a few more than LGD do. Like this Troll with a leveler, if they ever get into the Radiant base, those buildings are just going to die. Like every single time. So, you know, although EHOME are now winning in terms of net worth, I think the pressure is on them that they can't mess up in these fights at all. Especially when there's a... do they have a repair kit on their team as well or not? No, they don't. And I feel like somebody should be taking that Timeless Relic as well.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are
Is that not, like, really good on the Wyvern?
What does FY get level 25? The 3 toss charges?
Yeah, I would assume so. I think if you go E-Blade people used to... Was it Faith Beyond with the offlane tiny build? Where he would go like E-Blade and then go... Yeah, he goes -7 Avalanche cooldown. And then he just has his spells up all the time.
And then Tide going 20% cooldown reduction, I'd assume.
Do it with flair.
Chalice, he took the Battle Trance, strong dispels. That'll be nice.
That feels really good. I assume it doesn't work against Curse. I think it's a constantly reapplying thing, but like it'll work against Chains. It'll work against the Disarm from Oracle as well.
Coming in.
Game has kind of gone to a standstill. It is this point though where Storm has the Auto Remnant.
But yeah, it's going to be so difficult for EHOME to ever push this game, and this is what I mean. Like, I don't know how they end the game now. They need to like kill everybody before they can push buildings, because Storm's going to be pushing lanes out with his ult and just zipping around, like killing the waves instantly with Remnants. And I don't know if you've ever seen a level 30 Storm before, but it's actually pretty scary, because you get the Overload Piercer's immunity with the extra overload damage.
Searing Chains, they've got the Root, Inkswell, Lincoln's Pop. Now they look over the Ember, who's popped the BKB. Troll is very much alone in this fight. Sylar's going to focus.
Sylar
He's
has
got
a
the double
DD.
damage, and Wukong's with the extra area on the
Jinky's been
Wukong.
found.
Sorry, there we go. They've got themselves the Ravage. That's going to be one. Old 11 doesn't have the mana for the second one.
Oh my god.
Sort your mana out, Old 11. Jinkyu goes down, though. They'll get the
what a
kill on
soulbind,
X-Nova.
though.
Ballast Strike comes in. They've got a great soulbind from X-Nova. The toss is out. There's the second Ravage. Finally lines up. Back into the fight is nothing to say as he uses the Remnant to come back in after he buys back. They bought back on the Grimstroke as well. Stroke of Fate comes in, sewing up through these heroes, but the Inkswell, that'll stun up Faith Beyond. Old 11 taking a lot of damage. There's the Fortune's End to get the kill there on Old 11. They'll take out Faith Beyond. Faith Beyond has buyback. Silence from Somnus onto the Ember. Slight, though, comes through, keeps him alive, and now Sylar, he drops too. He's got buyback, so not the worst thing in the world for EHOME. The Abyssal Blade comes in with a False Promise Oracle, and they'll start to do work to him, as after this False Promise is over, he'll just pop.
That's a gem as well. Really, I don't know if we saw that, but X-Nova with a really sick soulbind at the back of the fight. He caught it on the Monkey King and the Ember, who, nothing to say, ended up buying back as well as Chalice. I think they're the two big ones. Tidehunter and X-Nova on this Grimstroke did as well, but yeah, I think that soulbind completely makes the fight so much easier for them, because Ember can't jump around with these Revenants anymore with his Aghanim Scepter upgrade. Massive for him. With the Octarine Core, I think the Remnant charge cooldown time is... I'm not sure what it is, actually, because it doesn't say. And this is it. This is what I mean. LGD, they have the capability to just rip through buildings, but they get on top of them.
Faith Beyond, hookshot into a Necro Creep.
Okay, so
Not sure it was on target.
Sylar and Nothing to Say have both brought back now on the two EHOME cores. So Storm is the only core left in the game with his buyback up.
Finally the Hex for FY.
They're going to be really key up against this Ember, who doesn't... Oh, he does have Lincolns. Okay. He's getting close to that level 30 on Ember as well, actually. Oh, chains.
Searing Chains onto two. Hookshot from Faith Beyond. They've got the Cogs. And now the Soulbind comes in once again. They've leashed up the Ember. He's into the BKB. The ball lightning over, as well as the Ravage coming out on every single hero
Only one,
here
though.
from EHOME. They'll get the kill into the Winter Wyvern. The Wukong's command comes in from Sylar, doing a lot of damage on Old over the Ballast Strike through. Kraken Shell
No
does not,
buyback
but
on
it's not
Tide.
going to be able to keep him alive. He's dead for 2 minutes. Onto the backlines, though. They look over at Chalice. They've got the Cogs surrounding him. They'll walk away and maybe look to re-engage. Faith Beyond, meanwhile, has Hookshot once again. He's trying to set it up. He doesn't have vision and won't make the jump.
I'm not sure EHOME can go here. They would be feeling pretty brave if they went for this, I think. Again, like they don't push that well, right? So LGD, especially Storm, could just sit in his base until they decide to commit on EHOME here. Like they can just wait out the Tidehunter coming back up again. He does have mana for 2 Ravagers now because he has Octarine Core finally, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. It was just the cooldown that fight on the Refresher Orb, unfortunately.
Ooh. Divine Rapier queued up for Chalice. Does have the Satanic, and we'll see if he can get to that. Bloodthorn finished off for Somnus. He's getting close to that level 30.
He was so crazy, actually. Probably one of the better games we've had this whole tournament so far.
And it looked like it was just going to be super one-sided at the start.
Yeah. LGD taking a couple of bad fights. He definitely made it interesting.
Hook shot onto some creeps. So who's hitting level 30 first? It looks like the Ember.
The Ember, yeah. He's really close.
Yeah.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And the extra slight Fisk charge could actually make a difference in a fight to whether he lives or dies, right? And he gets 15 damage from level 10. Nice. Big up.
That'll be the difference.
Could be.
Dire's bottom tower
This Spell Prism
is
is so
under
good
attack.
for his build. Like, it stacks up with the Octarine core, like, works on his BKB, his Lincolns, his recharge time on Fire Eminent, recharge time on Sleight of Fists when he gets the second one.
Meanwhile, by the
You know,
way, LGD
Chains
has
is...
2 couriers, and
Oh, nice.
Dire's
They're both
turret
gonna die.
has been killed.
Oh, dear.
they had one to stay in the pit just in case that one died. They would have one come in.
Oh, no, the courier.
But they've already killed one, and now they'll kill the other. Oh, no.
So Ember has buyback in 3 minutes, and Monkey King's is just over 4 minutes. So this Aegis is really important here for both teams.
Flare's here.
Ball lightning into the pit. Somnus gets his Lincoln's pop, so that'll be on cooldown for 10 seconds. Might wait for that to jump back in. Oh, she doesn't jump in, just takes the outpost. 5 minutes till tier 5s. Getting close.
Almost there. What tier 5... should we look ahead to the tier 5 items? What would make the big difference here?
Woodland Striders! Give me the Woodland Striders, ladies and gentlemen.
Sear Stone for the Radiant side would be massive on one of the supports for the cast range.
Do it with flair.
What else is there? I mean, Pirate Hat might be nice for the Monkey King as well.
Or the troll.
Or even the Ex Machina would be really strong for someone like the Ember, or even the Monkey King, who can reset all his abilities, like the BKB, the Abyssal as well. What about the Dire side?
Let me take a look at these tier 5 items.
I think Mirror Shield would be really nice for anybody on the Dire, just to be able to reflect the curse. Because, there's not a huge amount that reflects it apart from the curse and all of Oracle's spells as well. I guess Wyvern's W as well, with the Splinter Blast.
Dire are scanning.
Apex on Storm might be okay, I guess, but he probably wants Prince's Knife.
Invisibility.
It seems like they might even just be waiting for it. We've got the Ember at level 30 now. Storm getting close to the 30. Troll 28.
What's Stygian Desolator on the Troll?
Dire's bottom tower
That sounds high.
Stygian Desolator on the Tide.
Oh yeah, get Deso. Go. And they're just going to go into the pit here.
Dire's bottom
I don't know if EHOME are ready for this.
Give
I don't
Tide
think
the
they
refresher
feel-
shard.
Your son has fallen to the
Yeah, I mean they probably will, to be honest, because he does have the mana pool for it now.
Ooh,
Oh my god, the
comes
first
through that.
Ravage.
It's on a 3. There's the second Ravage.
Jinky
Hit him
just
with
dies.
the 2-shot. They'll get the kill on the Jinku, who immediately buy back. Now the tosses come in, but there's the Abyssal Blade. I think immediately purged off thanks to the Kraken Shell
Oh, nice
of
Hex.
11. They've
Onto
got the Hex
Sylar.
hitting on a Sylar BKB as well as the False Promise. Here comes the Wukong Soulbind. That locks up the Ember. Chalice tries to run. He's got his BKB. Great Cogs coming through from
Titanic.
Space Beyond. They're starting to work some damage onto the Troll, but is it going to be enough? Can the Clockwork survive? No, he can't.
Jeez.
Beyond ends up dead. Jinku dead for the second time. Now they look over for the Troll. Ball lighting in from Samus. Avalanche hit
Oh
from
my
Empire.
God,
They get the kill.
Chalice.
Nothing to say. Now they look over at the Monkey King. Sylar is gone. Innocence falls 2. Team wipe for LGD. And this might just do it.
How is Chalice alive? He managed to get Whirly Axes off when he was on about 200 HP, and the mischance on the Monkey King and the Ember Spirit
Dire's structures
just did enough. And they glyph up their wave on LGD so they can push into the base here. Monkey King has buyback up in 40 seconds, but I mean, it's still quite a way away.
structures are fortified.
And,
11
Troll does have
technically
this-
Middle
has
barracks are
the
under
refresher orb, the refresher shard, and another Ravage coming up in 7 seconds. But does he even have the mana to sustain that? He's half his mana pool.
has fallen. Radiant's middle
Nothing to say.
barracks are
Actually,
under attack.
he didn't have BKB there, but they really want to just focus the buildings here on LGD. Yeah, and with this leveler, Chalice is just going to go for this. He's going to go through these buildings really quickly. If it was it for
Ravage.
the Oracle.
Refresher shard, not even gonna need the next Ravage.
No, we're not going to get tier 5 items, guys.
Backdoor
Please.
protection, dude. Minute
Ah,
30.
it doesn't matter. There's a leveler troll. Hello. Where's the Deso? Here we go.
All right.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
LGD say
Guys,
we don't need
they're up in
creeps.
45 seconds. Tier 5 items.
Yeah.
There's the Remnant forward. Ravage. Great BKB. Sleight of Fist comes in as well as another Sleight of Fist. They'll get the refresher off again on the old 11.
Radiant's ancient
Backdoor is just not holding this base alive. They've got the Lincolns. They'll get the Hex. And Faith Beyond, I think, respawn into that Ravage.
Radiant's ancient
They're just gonna call it though.
Yeah, they'll call GG.LGD take game 1 in a thriller. That was a great one.
PSG.LGD.
Oh, so close to the items, guys. Never mind. We'll get another one day. But yeah, I mean, really convincing performance from LGD. They took a few bad fights at like the 20-minute markish or so, I would say. Like, do you remember when Somnus just jumped into the Radiant top jungle by himself? I thought that was a little bit interesting. But again, it's this concept that even though EHOME won some fights, they never really looked like they were in a position to finish off the game, right? Like when they went mid and they managed to get the tier 3, but they couldn't get the racks. Because there's like this repair kit on the Dire side. I think they only ended up using one charge on LGD.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think we've seen this problem from EHOME before with their lineups, that they don't push buildings that well. Because they love picking this Ember and then